Here on Cape Cod, we have a high rate of suicide. It's about 1.5 times higher than it is for the rest of the state. On Cape Cod last year, Cape Cod and the islands, we had 37 deaths by suicide in 2024. Our mission is suicide prevention, and we do that by providing support to people who are in crisis, also people who are contemplating suicide, and those who are affected by it.
My name is David Riccardi. I am self-employed, own a company in Howardsport. I am a board member of the Samaritans. Once my son passed away, he passed away February 1st, 2023. My head was totally spinning. So my wife had suggested that I need to talk to someone.
My name is Peter Clark. I've been in Falmouth for over 50 years because I came in 1972 to be principal of a brand new high school and became superintendent. We did, earlier in my career, have a student who decided to end life with suicide. And the Samaritans made themselves available to help with conversations, and so I knew they existed. When I retired, the Samaritans were in flux, and I went on their board to help them. And then as a board member, I met some of the great people who were volunteering on the phone lines, and I became interested in trying to do the crisis line work myself.
So I think the uniqueness, what we offer as a call center, is our 48 years of history of being befrienders. This woman by the name of Monica Dickens, in the early 80s, she was very instrumental in getting the suicide barriers on the Bourne and the Sagamore bridges. As many people know, those are the only approaches to come onto Cape Cod. And so we were very, very fortunate that we were able to put signs at the edge of each bridge that had our number, and it still to this day says desperate. Call us, we listen.
For years, coming to the Cape, going over the bridge, I'd see the sign. I had no idea what that meant.
And it is that notion that for that 5-hour period of time, I can provide attention and caring and hopefully bring a sense of safety and calmness.
Really got off the phone, and I really felt, for the first time, pretty whole. I felt good.
One of the things that I find in answering the phones is you have to put aside a lot of easy stereotypes about who's on the phone and why they're on the phone. Depression and suicidality strike everybody. It crosses all dimensions. Some of the brightest people.
He was quite a baseball player. That's his number right there, 21. His heart was that big. You know, he was generous, amazing dad, funny.
When I came to the Samaritans 14 years ago, we averaged about 20,000 calls a year, and we are answering over 10,000 calls per month now.
My name is Stephanie Dennehy. I'm an executive vice president here at Cape Cod 5. So we've supported the Samaritans at Cape Cod 5 for several years now, and because again, we really believe that thriving and healthy communities start with each one of us supporting one another. The Samaritans just do such a wonderful job of offering hope to those really in need at maybe their darkest point, and it's just so critical to supporting those that may feel lost or like they have nowhere to turn.
Hope is what keeps us going. The hope that you'll get through it, an understanding, knowing that you have that group there when you need them.
In addition to the crisis lines, we also do what we call the local outreach to suicide survivors. Our outreach programs include a Second Chance, which is for attempt survivors, support groups for attempt survivors, and a Caring Connection, which is for individuals who've experienced a mental health crisis.
My wife had suggested that I try to connect with a group, like like AA, and where you would go and you'd talk about your story and your family and so forth. So I made the first week, and it was rough, telling my story, listening to other stories, feeling compassion for other people feeling that way about me, and looking around the room when I was sharing my story. I could feel the warmth that people were sending my way. The woman aside of me actually had her hand on mine as I was telling my story. And it was wonderful.
During the time I was on the board and since then, there has been a consistency of leadership. Even though the organization has grown, I think there's been a maintenance of the value system that I was drawn to begin with. Support for the organization is a major foundation. Grant money is often tied to specific outcomes. The local support is very valuable in terms of dollars, but it's also very valuable in terms of a commitment to the organization.
We have had donors who have called our line and then sent us a $5 check.
They taught me how to cope. They taught me that it was not my fault. And then they also taught me that it was okay to talk about it. Because when people found out my son passed away, I'd lie to him. I wouldn't tell him he took his own life. He wasn't feeling well, he was sick. I couldn't say it. I don't know whether I was embarrassed for him or me or my family, but I just couldn't use those words. And then finally one day, I was talking to a colleague of mine. He said, David, what happened? And I said, Anthony took his life.
We hope that through our support of the Samaritans here at Cape Cod 5, it can really help to reduce the stigma of asking for help. It literally can change a life by someone being able to avail themselves of the services of the Samaritans.
There's a need for the Samaritans being a nonprofit and helping people like they do. They take thousands of calls, and a lot of those calls are with people just like myself. And if I could tell anybody, talk to somebody, in the Samaritans, call the hotline, tell your story a little. Don't be afraid to express how you're feeling. I'm so thankful and grateful that they were in my life and still are.
So I ask you to be a lifeline for our organization. Volunteer, advocate, and donate.
Be a lifeline by being a volunteer on the phone, being an advocate, spreading awareness of the issues, and of course, if you possibly can, by being a donor to the organization. It's a fine organization.
And I encourage everyone to be a lifeline as an advocate, a volunteer, or a donor.